Sergio, before you tell me your story, tell me this. On a day like that, all of you police officers know that it's, even if you're off, you're on duty. Everybody reports, right?
Yes,
Correct.
Absolutely.
Everybody report.
Correct.
Tell me about your experience.
Well, I was actually on 125th Street at a school at the time that happened. And it was actually an old man carrying a little radio. This old man usually carry a little radio, and he had the news. And he told me, you heard about what happened to the World Trade Center, right? And I said, no, what happened? He's like, a plane just crashed. I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. You know, to me, honestly, I thought that, either he was drunk or he didn't have nothing else to say. I said, yeah, okay, whatever. He's like, no, for real, for real. Then, I walked outside and I see a lot of police cars and fire trucks just rushing by. So then, next door, there was a store and they had the TV on. And they had Channel 1. And I actually saw it live. I didn't know, at the time, I didn't know what to believe, I didn't know what to say. All I know was that I had to get back to work. So my cell phone wasn't working, right? I didn't have a car because I took the train over there. So I couldn't get a ride back because you couldn't stop a police car because they were all rushing down to Ground Zero. So I ended up walking all the way from 125th Street to 159th Street and 3rd Avenue.
Wow.
I had to do all that walk. It was a long walk. As soon as I got into the precinct, everybody was already dressed. I believe I was actually the last one to get there. Everybody was already rushing out. So I went upstairs, got dressed. They sent us down. They sent us to Chambers and West Side. That was our post. I was there from approximately 10 o'clock a.m. to 2 a.m. the next morning.
Non-stop.
Non-stop. I went back to the precinct, slept 2-3 hours, went back at 12 o'clock. I did that tour for the whole month, non-stop, 6 days a week, non-stop. Vacation was over, everything was over. But I mean, just the experience when I got down to Ground Zero, it was amazing. I couldn't believe it. It was like, you were at a war. It was dusty, people hurt. It was amazing. I mean, still to this day, it's like, I see videos and I still bring me back memories.
Tell me about that, all of you. I'd like to know, what kind of an impact that vision, that seeing all of that have. It's like a war zone, right?
Right after that happened, we got mobilized because we was already in Manhattan on 20th Street in the police academy. We were shuttled right over to the Brooklyn Bridge. We saw people walking around dazed, all white from the dust, walking around. They couldn't believe it. It was like, pinch me. And it was amazing because it was like, as I said, it was like a movie. Everyone was reacting. People was crying. People was just trying to call. And I remember a few days after, we drove by Ground Zero, and you could still see the smoke and the heat coming from the pile. And most of our jobs, we had to escort people from the frozen zone inside to go to their house for like an hour to collect whatever they can. And you could see the dead animals, the rotten meat, the smell, the stench. It was like even though it was cold, you could still feel the heat.
Yeah,
Can you guys describe what that smelled like?
Oh, the smell.
It's like rotten meat.
Yeah,
like
the smell is amazing.
was
it's just like burnt meat, with dust
and
fire.
that you could still, at some point, you could still smell the aviation,
Yeah.
because I worked in the military for 10 years, so I know what aviation fuel smells like. So, I mean, you could still smell the gasoline, the human, it's what we call DOA smell.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a peculiar smell. If you ever experienced it, you'll never forget
You'll never forget it.
And it was just overwhelming.
Yes.
It was something surreal.
And that's the reason why they gave us masks so we can put on after a few days.
Okay, yeah, but that raises that question. How were you, the first couple of days, 2 or 3 days, were you guys wearing masks?
Well,
Like about
well,
Because it was such like
technically,
a panic mode.
yes, technically the mask. Well, I can speak for myself. Technically, the mask was given to us a week after, and the mask that they
same
gave
here.
us is those masks that you could wear it like for 3
like in the
seconds
hospitals.
Yes.
and take it off.
Yes.
Right.
And
They
after,
made out of like a paper. thick
right,
paper.
Paper,
paper,
that's-
yeah, like
yeah,
a plastic little
right.
paper with a little clip.
Yes.
And
Right.
then I guess
Over
the
the nose.
feds, they started worrying about the air pollution. So they gave us some fancy mask that they last 15 minutes.
Because even to this day, I'm still going to the World Trade Center
Yeah.
screening.
Still suffering.
And the doctor says, for my age, male black, one of my lungs is not taking in enough air as it's normally supposed to. I never smoke, I don't drink, so I'm still, every few months, I'm going back to Bellevue Hospital, and they give me all of these tests to find out the reason why this is happening. And the only thing I can think of is from 9/11,
Yeah.
because I don't drink, I don't smoke, and
Well, we're going to get to that because I
Yes.
want to ask you all about
Yeah.
the health problems that
Yeah.
you're having.
Yeah.
But on that day, before we go, we're going to take a break in a minute. But on that day, did you lose friends? Did you
Yes.
die that you,
Yes, I
officers
did.
that you knew?
Yes,
Wow.
actually, one of my partners, that he's no longer in the police department after 9/11. His brother was a firefighter, and he worked downtown, and he responded on that day. And actually, we used to go on our days off, and we were off to help search, and never found it. And it was so, dramatic to him that he ended up quitting.
So the way you guys view this, had you not been off duty that day, might you be dead now if you had gotten there earlier?
it depends on what borough you're working.
Yeah.
Right.
Because there was some guys that was in one police plaza,
Yeah.
about to retire, he put in his paper.
Paper, he went
Yeah.
straight there,
Straight there.
and he died.
Because what it is, it's a habit, it's still into you that you say, I'm not going to go down there now, but when it happens,
No, you have to.
your training just
It's-
kicks
it's-
in.
It's the training.
Yeah.
Your training just
Au-
kicks in,
automatic.
and you automatically
You can say, I'm not
react.
going to do it,
You-
but the minute it happens,
automatically.
it's like a robot. Training kicks in and you got to go down.
Your training just kicks in, they tell us. So we're going to deal with that when we come back from this short break. We'll be right back.